Hello, and welcome to Marriage in Real Life with your host, Eric and Patsy Richards, a podcast about two imperfect people with an imperfect marriage. This podcast aims to help listeners know that God, who is perfect, can use your imperfections and your imperfect marriage to help others. So let's laugh and learn. I hope you enjoy the episode, and let's get straight into it.
Well, welcome to Marriage in Real Life.
Welcome.
Oh, man. I'm so glad to be back for another podcast.
Amen.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I'm excited as well.
Well, you know what's been happening these last 2 weeks? How we always start with our 2 weeks thing. So what's been happening?
Over the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
we celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Yay, 31.
Yay, 31. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We went to see Amai and the kids,
and
of course.
Yeah. We went to see Amai. It was such a good time. We kept her on that Friday night.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. It's been a long time since we had a baby.
A little one,
Yeah,
so juicy.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Just look at, she has such facial expression. She's such a little character.
Yes.
Such a little character. I'm gonna enjoy watching her grow up.
Right.
And, watching how mom and dad deal with, her growth. But so far, it's so good.
So
they
good,
handling
yeah.
things. I'm so proud.
Yeah, I'm so proud. I'm proud granddad too. And so we kept on Friday and we kept her on Sunday. While they went to church and we had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a good time. Those short board slushies, I really like them.
Yeah, those were amazing.
Yeah,
I
those
told
were
you.
amazing. Yeah, you told me.
You.
It was good. I'm
was
telling you,
really
those
good.
slushies was good in Tampa. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
If you go to Tampa, you have to go by Jordan so he can show you where it is.
Yes,
They're
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing. And then what happened? We this weekend, we went up for a conference and we had a little time separate to it.
Much needed
time, huh?
Much needed separation.
Yeah, not that that was getting on each other's nerves, but I think one thing my mom always said, that you can't be around somebody 365 days, 24/7, and not get tired of them. So that's what we did. We always try to do something like that. Even if you go up to see your mom or do something else, but we try to do that. And I think this one was a good time of prayer and refocus, and so I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed mine.
You did?
Although mine consisted of doing some laundry and some dusting and some vacuuming. However, I got a lot of one-on-one time with the Lord and trying to just rejuvenate my relationship and just talk to the Lord.
Okay. Okay.
So
all right.
it was really good. I did a lot of talking to the Lord about you.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh yes. Was it good or was it bad?
It was awesome.
Okay.
Just that the Lord would keep you strong, keep you focused.
Okay. Thank you.
And as a leader of the family, we need as a family to just continue to pray for you.
Okay.
That
all
you
right.
lead
Thank you.
us. So
Thank you so much.
That's kind of where I was.
Yeah,
with
I
that.
felt. Matter of fact, I felt that. I felt good. So I thank God for that. Well, we're gonna get right into our topic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about questions. Somebody sent us questions, and this is like the most question or that people would send us.
Most in demand.
Yeah, most in demand. Yeah, most in demand. It's talking about a woman with a strong personality.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you didn't like my title. And when it coming up, you didn't like my title. What my title was: how to handle a woman, or how to deal with a woman with a strong personality. Why you didn't like my title?
I think because when you say deal, it's like you're tolerating me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, okay, so she's going to be this way, so I'm just going to accept it. And that kind of made me feel like, I don't want to be tolerated in a relationship.
Okay.
So that word deal with kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, no, we got to go back to the board on this one because I'm not feeling it. And at dinner with our daughter yesterday, and when she started saying, Mom, think about this, and we had a little discussion about it, and I was, I'm like, you know what, I really appreciate your opinion on this, because I didn't tell her that I was feeling that sort of way as well, but I was like, you know what, you definitely, you have a point, and I'm going to consider that, and we're going to go back to the board on this.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm happy that, and that's what we need our viewers to come back and say, hey, this is how I felt about that statement, or this is how I felt about this, that, and the other.
Right.
So that we can go back and, do a little, oh, goodness, I need to blow my nose. I'm sorry, I do. So, so that's kind of how that went down. So, if they would give us, what, how they feel about a particular topic,
right,
then we can go back and readjust and look at it and come up with some other research on how to approach it appropriately without being offensive or coming down on someone. Unfortunately, I have to excuse myself.
All right. Well, this is all on me. Well, honestly, I know, Patsy didn't like the title, but I get that all the time. I get where guys would ask the question, how am I going to handle this girl? They would say, hey, I need to know how to handle, do this. And I know from understanding from Patsy, or understanding from a woman's point of view, that is not a good thing. But really, that's, I think women sometimes do that too. Now, hey, how do I handle this man? Or, how do I deal with this man? And so when the guys asked me that question, so that's why I said that maybe that was a good topic to have, how to handle or how to deal with a strong woman with a personality. And so, but I do understand how it can be offensive in a way. So, hey, we're here to answer the question tonight, not how to deal with. And once Patsy get up here, all right, we're back. All right. So, what is the question? What did you propose for the topic would be? What did you say?
Understanding.
How to understand
a woman with a strong personality.
Okay. All right. Cool. I can go with that. All right. I can definitely go with that. So we're just going to give us applause for that. All right. Okay. All right. So, a women with strong personality in a marriage or relationship, one may be laid back, a husband or a wife may be laid back, while the other one may have a strong personality. Mm-hmm. And one thing you have to realize, I feel, that in a marriage or in a relationship, that you're working as a team, right? You're working as a team. And I feel this, that you should not go in and try to say your strong personality is useless or we don't need that. You know what I mean? Because look, even in our relationship, right? You have a strong personality, right? I have a more laid back personality. But there are times when we need that strong personality. Mm-hmm. And there are times when we need the laid back. There have been times when I've been out and the person just wasn't understanding the laid backness of me, right? Mm-hmm. So I would call up Patsy and say, hey, this person ain't understanding. Patsy would get on the phone with her personality and get things done. And vice versa, where you would call, me and say, hey, Eric, they just not getting it. And I would just talk to them in a laid back way, and you will get things done. So it is a teamwork that is needed in relationships. It's a teamwork that is needed in marriage in order for your marriage to go forward. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. You got anything to add?
Well, yeah, I get it. And I think you definitely need, where they say opposites attract. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a key part in the relationship, too, because, again, sometimes you're going to be doing 80 and the other person's doing 20, and sometimes they're doing 80 and you're doing 20. That's the whole, key part of keeping the unit together.
Right.
And sometimes you need that strong personality to say, hey, you ain't finna talk to my husband like that, because there's going to be some issues here, But when that strong personality comes within the relationship, put the things of outside the relationship, at the grocery store, the gas station, people on the phone. But when that comes in the relationship, now there has to be a balance in there.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with the person having a strong personality at all.
Right.
But it comes to times when you have to know sometimes
when to do it,
when to hold them and when to fold them.
That's it.
You got to know when to use it. And if you're trying to be in a marriage,
right,
it's going to take some give and take.
Right.
So,
I looked on the website, being in school, so I have to look at some scholarly things, and Truity's personality and career, they give us personality tests. And this is what they said a person with a strong personality is. Okay. All right? This is what it says. It says, number 1, you tend to have a constructive view of confrontation. You tend to have a constructive view of confrontation. What it says, you won't go out of your way to seek it out and will still avoid it to see the possibility of doing so. But in general, you would prefer to lay your cards on the table when you feel you have something important to express or are dissatisfied with someone else's behavior in some way. You believe it's better to get it all out in the open where it can be resolved, even if it leads to some hurt feelings in the beginning. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, you smile. Yeah, you smile.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
All right. So that's a sign of a person with a strong personality. You tend to have a constructive view of confrontation. You want to get we're going to settle this right now.
Yeah, I don't like putting things, how I don't like putting it off for tomorrow what I could do today. Right. And in the process of putting the cards on the table and getting it all out, tomorrow you start afresh and new. Right. I have a perfect example as with some of the ladies at work. Like, I'll go in, and I'll be like, in the past, I'll go in and I'll be like, what are you guys doing? You're supposed to be doing ABC. This is not cool, y'all. When you don't do what you're supposed to do, it falls back on me as a director. I need you to pull yourselves together, and that's it. The next day, it's a new day, but then they'll think that I'm upset about yesterday. No, I said what I had to say. I put my cards on the table. Now I want you guys to fix it. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow I'm not going to come in and say, yesterday I had, no. Because what happened yesterday was taken care of, in my perspective, was taken care of yesterday. And if you had any questions or concern, yesterday was the time to ask.
Well, how does that go with a marriage, though, or in a relationship? Because sometimes you don't get things squared away. And especially, again, when you have a person who is laid back and a person who with a strong personality, sometimes it can go crazy with that, right?
Absolutely, it sure can, because as with me, and I think a few times when we were bumping heads, it was because you wouldn't communicate back to me because you're laid back, and you figure like, hey, we just gonna leave it at that.
Right.
But me, I wanted a resolution. I wanted it complete. I wanted it done, so we can move forward to the next couple of hours or the next couple of days. And if we didn't, then now we have a problem because I don't feel like it was completed. I don't feel like it was finished. So if it's not finished, then it's still rolling around the back of my mind, and now I feel like you don't care. You don't respect my opinion. You're not really communicating with me in that process to get it done. Okay. So it's not that my personality, I want to be in control. I want to be leading. I want to be in charge of stuff. No, I just want things done. And I think most women, that's all we want. If you guys don't communicate back to us, even if we do have a strong personality, a character, that was another word we could have chose too. A strong character does not, if you don't meet us halfway, like we said last week, I can't get in the boxing ring and box and fight by myself. You got to be in there with me so we can do it together. So
okay, all right. So that's number 1. You tend to have a constructive view. This is what is the truest who gives out personality tests say. A person with a strong personality. Number 2, you are relentless optimistic. You are relentlessly optimistic. It says, as an individual with strong personality, you are results oriented. That this means you won't stop trying until you achieve an outcome that satisfies your needs and those of your loved ones, co-workers, and others from whom you've chosen to advocate for. Yeah, I agree with that. Because as you know, I would think as a leader, a strong personality, and we will see, has the attributes of a leader, right? And usually, as a leader, you are advocating for your coworkers, for your family, for like that. That's what you do. We would say in the military, you looking out for your troops, right? And Absolutely. so you're religiously optimistic about things, and you make sure that you won't stop trying until everything is done, and you're advocating for them. So that's another one of a strong personality. You got anything on that? Nothing?
Well, yeah, a little. I agree with that. I also agree that, even to get a resolution doesn't have to always go in your favor. You have to be willing to accept the other person's opinion. If it's a better idea, then take the best idea, the one that's going to cause the less friction, the less issue.
Right.
So, yeah, that was the only little part in there.
Okay. All right. Number 3. So, number 1, you tend to have a constructive view of confrontation. Number 2, you're relentlessly optimistic. Number 3, you can take no for an answer, but only after you have exhausted every possibility to turn that no into a yes. Oh, that's a good one, huh? You smile, you laugh on that one. You can take no for an answer, but only after you have exhausted every possibility to turn that no into a yes. It says that they like to get their way and are used to getting their way, especially with regard to matters they believe are important. Now we getting down to the nitty gritty.
Read that again.
Yes. People with strong personalities, they like to get their way and are used to getting their way, especially with regard to matters they believe are important. All right. I know we got 12 people watching, and I know, come on, y'all put in the chat. Look at here. If you got a strong personality, do you like to get your way? Do you like to get your way? Amen. And so it says this: if you have a strong personality, you've undoubtedly noticed that your powers of persuasion are quite impressive. You persuade people to get what you want. Oh boy, look at here, Patsy. You persuade people to get what you want. It says, and are quite impressive. You may be strong-willed, but you have a keenly developed sense of what is smart to be strong-willed about. So that's where it comes down to. You know when to hold them, you know when to fold them, right?
Absolutely.
You know that. You smiling because I hit the nail on the head, ain't it?
It's just, I have a strong personality. Okay, yes,
right,
I do.
All right.
I do.
All right. So yeah, okay. So yeah, All right. Now we got Melissa on the line. Melissa say yes. All right. All right. All right. Number 4, others look to you to take the lead. A person with a strong personality, others look to you to take the lead. And we're going to get down to the part where it can sometimes it can
make you or break.
It can make you break, especially in a marriage, right? Especially in a marriage when the man is laid back. But the woman is strong, has a strong personality, that can, when others look for you to take the lead, sometimes because he's sitting back, he's supposed to be the leader, but because he's laid back, that, somebody say, well, you ain't a leader. She's the leader, right? All right, I got something.
I have a perfect example.
Okay, come on.
Oh, my goodness. I remember one time when we were living in our apartment, and I think the air conditioner or something broke down, and we called for the maintenance guy, and I was so frustrated and hot and just aggravated because it kept breaking down. And as soon as he opened the door, I jumped right at him. I said, let me tell you something. He was like, excuse me, excuse me, I got that. So that's when that personality kind of chimed in, like, Eric ain't gonna handle this. I got this. But then you kind of like, babe, let me handle this.
Yeah, let me.
And it was hard to let you handle it because I was upset and angry, and I wanted to persuade him to get the air conditioner up and running. It's hot here in South Florida. Right. I remember that time.
You remember that? Okay.
I remember that. So that was a time where I could have stepped back, but I really didn't give it any thought. I was just ready to get it done because you're laid back, and I didn't think you was gonna give it to him like he deserved to get it. So I was gonna give it to him. So yeah.
All right. So others look. It's no secret that people with strong personalities can make good leaders. They possess several characteristics associated with able and effective leadership: decisiveness, frankness. They're very frank. They will, people with strong personality will tell you, if you stink, if you don't smell good, if you don't look good. They just frank about everything. Certain people will say, I just go off the cuff. They got strong personalities. Your willingness to step up and lead when others can't or would prefer not to do is direct consequence of your strong personality. So that's what it happened. You felt that, hey, I wasn't going to step up, but your strong person, hey, I'm going to do it, So I'm going to take charge, all right? So, all right, so number 5, you've gained a reputation as a perfectionist. Person with a strong personality. You've gained a reputation as a perfectionist. A perfectionist is someone who has a clear idea about how things should be organized, how tasks should be performed, and how people should conduct themselves in all situations. That is a perfectionist. That's a person who has a strong personality. That's one of the characteristics, because you can look at other people's lives and you can tell them what's wrong with their lives more than you can tell them what's wrong with yours. You try to correct everybody else's life when you should be correcting yours.
So in other words, you need to sweep around your own front.
Before you sweep around mine, all right? So in essence, you're looking at say for instance, a woman with a strong personality. You're looking at your husband and telling him, oh, you're wrong about this. You're so wrong. This, you can't do this, and you do this, and you do this. But you're not looking within yourself to see, what can I do better? What can I do? Because I'm a firm believer, if everybody starts with themselves, they don't have to worry about what the other person. Right? Because, Ephesians 5 and all of that talks about, like we talked about last week when fighting about wives, be submissive, and husband loving your wives. I know in our pre-marriage, I always tell people, say, look, you look for wives, you look at Ephesians 5 and 22 and 23, and husbands, you do from 24 to 33. That's what you need to study. You don't need to study about wives being submissive. So that means you don't have to go around and say, oh, Pastor, you got to be submissive to me because the Bible say that. No. I shouldn't have to tell you what you got to do, because I need to really concentrate on what I got to do. Loving you as Christ loved the church. And if I concentrate on what I'm doing, I ain't got time to worry about you being submissive or not, because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. And if you're concentrating on what you're doing, you say, look, I'll be submissive. I'll be under, because he's being a leader, right? He's being a leader. As Christ was a leader, we're being a leader, right? Even in my downplay or my laid back way, you can still be a leader. You don't have to be boisterous to be a leader. Am I right about it? Right? You could be laid back. All right. I see you laughing there. All right.
Yeah, you can be laid back.
All right. So the first problem that may arise in a strong-willed marriage is a societal perception of what marriage should be. Right? When you have society saying what a marriage should be, when you have a strong-willed woman and you have a man that's laid back, society would say that's not a good marriage. society says, no, it's the man that should be boisterous, not the woman, you know. And the thing about it is, too, is that especially black women, they get a bad rap. I really believe that. They get a bad rap. If they boisterous, they the angry black woman, right? Mm-hmm. I think Nicki Minaj said it right when I was listening to her interview. She was saying that she's a boss, and she goes into like a video shoot and she says, I want this, I want that, I want this, and they call her a B, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. But a man comes in and say, I want this, I want that, I want that, and they give him everything he wants. They say, oh, you're a boss. You know, so it's a different standard when a woman is voicing her opinion about something, and she's saying that she has a strong personality, and she's voicing. Society say that's not a good marriage, that's not a good fit, because a man is supposed to be leading. So what you got to say about that?
Okay, I agree with her perspective on that.
Right.
That, society has put a lot of us women in a position where we have to humble ourselves and meek ourselves, because if we stand up and we speak for ourselves, we're considered either, like you said, we're considered the B word, mm-hmm. but we're just letting you know that this is how this game is going to roll. You know, you're not going to walk over me. When we stand up for ourselves, we're considered to be, oh, here she comes again. Oh, my God, I can't deal with this, And it's basically just, we letting you know before the game start, these are how the cards are going to be played if I'm going to be leading this pack.
Right.
So we definitely get a bad rap on that. Definitely.
But this is, one thing we want our audience to know tonight, especially when it comes down to, because the questions about women being having a strong personality, right? You need to be who you are. Mm-hmm. You need to be who you are, right? But as you're being who you are, understand some conflicts that come between the two of you that may occur. You got to be aware of that. Mm-hmm. So this is just who I am. This is just, well, if that is who you are, you may have some conflicts. If you are strong-willed, if you have a strong personality, and you have a man who is laid back, you may have some conflicts, and you're going to have to work those conflicts out. If you don't want to change, if he don't want to come up, and he don't want, or whatever, then, it's going to happen. I heard somebody looked at a woman and said a woman is like a Mustang. Oh. Like a Mustang. The Mustangs out there that run around. The ones with strong personality. They like Mustangs.
But a horse?
Yeah, the Mustangs. They very powerful, and they hard. They hard to corral in. It takes years. It takes months and months, and it takes what? Patience. It takes patience, and some.
So wait a minute. So are you saying that a strong woman with a woman with a strong personality has to be tamed like a horse?
Well, that's what the person's kind of insinuated. That a woman with a strong personality has to be tamed like a horse, because the horse is just so wow. That's what the person said. I'm not saying that I figure that. I'm just saying what the person said. That they got to be tamed. And, I just added that, it takes patience. If you have a wife who has a strong personality and you're having conflict, and you see that all the time that she's not allowing you to lead, because leadership to her is not leadership what is it to him. So that rises conflict. So you have to get some kind of understanding, and you can't do it one time. It takes patience for you to understand each other and say, look, I got this. I may not do it the way you do it, but I got it. As long as we get the results, of whatever it is, as long as the AC gets working, right? It doesn't matter if I come off strong or if I come off with an understanding attitude or a laid-back attitude, as long as you get the AC on, right? So it takes patience. It takes patience on both on both parts. Can you agree with that?
I can.
Yeah, it takes, because you got to be patient with the woman got to be patient with the laid back person saying, you can need to step up, so that's just, so you can be who you are, but it may cause conflicts. It will cause conflicts. It will. Come on, y'all, who's watching, come on, see, because Patsy's not answering. She's just smiling, so I have to, come on, y'all.
I mean, because this, I don't even know. I'm just thinking like to try and tame us. That goes back to that deal with us and tolerate us. And I don't like that concept. So I'm going to find out whoever that guy is.
You ain't going to find out who that guy is.
And give him a little hello. I'm not an animal. You don't tame me. And again, it comes back to the fact where you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You got to choose your battles in relationships. And even with me having a strong personality, even though I have a strong personality, there are times when I have to be like, okay, so am I gonna attack this one, or I'm gonna let that go and do this? And in the relationship in 31 years, I had to learn like what's gonna be beneficial. Okay. What's going to be beneficial. So, and I chose my battles. It's one thing, my grandmother always told me, say, choose your battles wisely. You can, if you can hold off on something, because something else is going to come up. Let him have this, and something else is going to come up. But I think the main thing is to determine how you're going to play it out. You can't throw out the towel because you're bumping heads. This is a commitment. It's commitment. It's loyalty. Right. And if you marry that person, you got to be willing to take the good with the bad. It's in the thing when they say to love and sickness and health and all that stuff. I don't even remember.
Honor and obey. I like the word obey. I skipped that
part on purpose.
OBEY. Obey. All right.
But if you have a husband, and you have a husband that is in tune with you, he won't be saying you got to obey me. You're my husband, not my father. Right. And so together we could come to a resolution, versus you telling me, well, in the vows it said that you have to honor and obey me. And of course I honor you, my king. I do.
Oh, thank you.
I do. I honor you, but as long as I think, and I've always told you that, as long as you're following God, I'm going to follow you. But the second I start seeing you swaying to the left and the right, as long as you're following God, I will obey what you ask me to do. Okay. I will. Right. But the second I see you going off on the deep end, and that's time for me to pull back and say, he going to hell and I ain't going with it.
Going with it. All right. One of the things that happens a lot with a woman with a strong personality, you can get to the point where you can start disrespecting your husband.
Yes.
And running over the husband.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and you trying to, you just do that. You remember the time we was in Okinawa when I left you at the commissary?
I do.
Yeah, so I felt you was disrespecting me. I just left you at the commissary and went. We was at Courtney. I left you at Courtney, and I just went to make tea. And you got home though, right?
I sure did.
And then when it happened again at Foster. When you was at Foster, and you got away home there, but I left you. So I just felt you was disrespecting me, And like I said, 31 years we learned how to do this thing. Now it goes the other way too, that you have a man that's doing the same thing, that's domineering and start disrespecting his wife, and that's not good either, And what society has said that it's all right for a man to do it, but for a woman, no. And so that's why I often tell people, you can't go about culture. You can't go about what society say a marriage is supposed to be. You need to go about what the Word of God says. And if you go by what the Word of God says, because the Word of God never changes.
Absolutely.
I don't care how much what social media says. I don't care what the government says. I don't say the Word of God never changes. And so if you go about with something that never changes, then you're good. Because social media said one day this way, the next day to say this. You can find all kind of craziness going in. But the basics of the word of God in Ephesians 6, if a husband is loving you as Christ loved the church, that means he sacrifices his life for you, the family. He leads by example, and maybe not by his voice sometimes, but by example. Then everything is going to fall in line. It is, right? And so it can happen again where you see that it's a disrespect both ways. It can happen that. But what's sad is that when each of us, when they're working in their strengths, then we need to learn that we work as a team. As I said before, we are a team. We need strong. If both of us laid back, right, we might not get nothing done. But we need to recognize each, like we said yesterday, last week, 2 weeks ago, we're a tag team. And if you know anything about tag teams, each person have their strengths. Each person have their closing move. That's about wrestling, I'm telling you. Each person have their individual closing move. They have their individual strength. And you have to go to that person's strength. Because like I said before, right then I might need somebody to come in and say, look, they ain't going to be messing with this or this or that, And I would need that. And I need to acknowledge that and say, you know what, not disrespect you, say, no, you don't need to be strong, but I need to learn how to do that, as long as it's not disrespectful in both ways. Because I what I do is I hate to see a man curse out a woman.
Okay. I
hate to see that. And I hate to see a woman curse out a man, but I really do hate to see a man curse out a woman. Be domineering, like, like cook my food or, fix me a plate first, because that's not all. That is not me. Right. And I guess I don't know if that's been a military part of me and the leader part of me. You don't have to fix my plate first, because I believe as a leader, this is me as a leader. I believe as a leader, I got to make sure my family eat first. If anybody going to starve, it's going to be me. Okay. That's just me. And, even when we have things for the church, and the ladies be somebody, we got to fix pastor plate. What do you tell them? He ain't going to eat it. You put it to the side, but he ain't going to eat it.
Right.
He's not going to eat it. Because I got to make sure, and that's, again, I got to make sure that my family eats first. So don't fix me a plate first. Just make sure, and I can fix my own plate too. I don't need no.
Well, something you said that kind of just jumped out at me when you said, like, when there's that strong personality on both parts, when you say you have to pull the strengths from each other, what strength she have, what strength he has, and when you combine it, then you can get a more conductive way of I guess being in the relationship.
Right.
And I think that's important too, because there's strengths that you have. As a matter of fact, I woke you up this morning. Hey, get up. Yeah. So there's strengths that you have, and there's strengths that I have. And again, you have to know when to, like I said, you got to know when you can put it in and put it out. So I'm looking at something that one of the viewers put on there, and I really, really like what she said about, I have a strong personality. However, I don't view myself as wild, and I totally understand and totally relate, because I don't want to be considered as some type of wild banshee because I speak up for myself, or I have these characteristics, because that's not that's not who I am. I'm not a wild woman. I'm not a cave woman. So I really like that comment. Thank you so much. I totally agree. I think people are intimidated by us because we'll speak up for ourselves. And although, we may come off strong when we do, it doesn't mean that we're angry. It doesn't mean that we're mad at somebody. It doesn't mean that we just having a bad day.
Not at all.
We just
You're just speaking up for yourself.
Expressing how we feel. Yeah. So I get that. So that whole horse thing, that thing just threw me. I know what you do.
I didn't say that you were a horse. I didn't say you were a Mustang. No, I didn't say that.
I know you didn't say that, but
I know when to push your buttons, and I know when not to push your buttons.
And I know exactly when not to push yours.
Right.
I think, like over the years of just being married, we've learned what's important.
Right.
We learned to just choose your battles, and I see someone put in there. Pick your battles.
Yeah, pick your battles.
Pick your battles.
Yep. That was Nat put in there. Pick your battles, and the Ty said, I believe each spouse or marriage have their strengths and weaknesses, and it's up to them to figure it out. And you have to.
Absolutely.
You have to figure it out. And you know what? Sometimes in dealing with a person with a strong personality, you need people that can be strong enough to interact with you too. Mm-hmm. There is times when you be laid back, and your wife has a strong person. You need to step up. Sometimes you're going to have to say, you know what, let me come out of my comfort zone, right? Mm-hmm. Let me come, because it's a time, what happens, because when I get mad now that's a totally different thing. If I'm at somebody and, when I get mad, I get strong. I'd be like, what done got into me? I didn't change it to the Hulk or something.
And then when I see you do that, I'm quick to say, baby, you need to calm down. Because I'm not used to you being that way. I'm used to me being that way. So when you get that way, it's like, whoa, wait a minute now, baby. You can calm down. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
And sometimes you say, I got it. Don't worry, I got it.
Let me handle it. Because I know, So, and that goes with how long we've been together, how we know when to say, okay, this is not going well because Eric is upset. So let me calm him down. Like, remember when the deer hit the car?
Oh, Lord.
We were riding and the deer hit the car and the kids freaked out and you said, shut up. And I was like, whoa. So, I was like, oh, calm down. So, I totally agree with that. I love what Melissa and Ty said because it definitely comes to a point where marriage is a roller coaster ride. It's a curved baseball, but you got to be able to ride the curve. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to do the ups and downs without being disrespectful and belittling the other. And like you said, that sometimes that strong personality come in handy.
Right.
But the older you get, trust me, the more you'll push back and you'll say, you know what, this ain't even worth the fight.
It ain't worth it.
This ain't worth the fight. I'm gonna wait till this over here. Something else gonna come along, and you will just, as you mature in your marriage, you'll start seeing, okay, so back when we were married for 3 years, that would have really irritated me. That really irritated me then. But here we are at 13 years.
Right.
And I can't believe I even waste time getting mad over that happened when we were married for 3 years.
Right.
So, so it comes a time as you grow and learn together. And that is another thing my grandmother said to me. She was such a wise woman. She said, I asked her what she was doing, and she said, oh, I'm just reading so-and-so. I said, well, why are you reading that? She said, well, you can always learn something. And I was like, okay. I always thought, oh, well, once you got, a grown-up, you knew it all. You learned. And she said, no, you learn something every single day. As long as you're on this earth, you will learn something every day. If you seek it out, and you watch it and you observe, and you will learn something every day. And I think it's the same thing in a marriage. Although we've been married for 31 years, I was going to say 34, 31 years, I learned stuff about Eric every day.
Wow.
I learned stuff about him all the time. I'd be like, and then some of the stuff I'd be like, had I known this.
Oh, Jesus, that's not
had I
good.
known this way back then, I'd probably say, I can't.
That's
and so,
and
I enjoy learning new things about you, and I enjoy pulling my personality back sometimes and letting you do your thing and not try to overshadow you in the relationship. So.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's kind of where I am with that.
Okay, good. What happened is if you're not strong to stand up for yourself, you'll get walked over.
Somebody said if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything.
And the person with a strong personality will end up disrespecting you.
Yeah.
So that's why you just can't be laid back all the time.
I'm laid back.
You ain't laid back, Patsy.
Not at all.
Well, sometimes you laid back. You chill. But you have your times where you be like, I'll be like, Greg, goodness, where you going? But I guess all of us. But I'm laid back. Now I'm laid back. Nah, I'm laid back.
Well, I can contribute to that wise woman and all the women that I've come in contact with in my life that really encourage me. And I mean, I have some aunts that are no longer with us that really imparted into me and really, really encouraged me. And I am the person that I am. I have, and I tried to pass that stuff over to my daughters as well, which they all have, strong personalities.
Yes, they do.
And that can be that's a good thing for them because they know what they're not gonna just deal with.
Right.
So that's kind of how that went about.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So we're gonna put it in. If somebody wants to call in, they could call in 754-222-2219. 754-222-2219. If you want to call in and talk about your strong personality, we're here to listen. We're here to listen about your strong personality, or if you within a relationship or within a marriage, you want to talk about your situation and how you handled a person with a strong personality. I love, I remember the last time your cousin Melissa called in, and one of the things too is that when women see their mother do what they do, and oftentimes, how do I kind of say that? Oftentimes, especially a young lady, when the man has done their mother wrong, right? They feel that, not that they don't like men, but they feel that they gotta, they gotta stand up to a man, because, hey, I saw my mother went through this. I saw my mother went through all of this hell because of a man, and she was strong, and I gotta be strong too. Ain't no man gonna do me like that. You right? Absolutely. Ain't no man gonna do me that. So they have this strong personality, and so they have to realize that, that all men are not the same. And sometimes it takes patience, and it takes, just getting to know each other. And again, thinking about that you are a team, that you can work things out. All right. So, yeah, if you want to call in, dial in to 754-222-2219, 754-222-2219. Come on and talk to us tonight. We still got a little time that we want to share with you all. We want to share this with you all, and come and join us. We want to hear your thoughts. Not only that, I see with that, a lot of people writing, and which is good. We love that. But call in and share your thoughts. I would love to hear from our daughters concerning their personality and how they got it from their mom.
Oh, okay. I like Ty's comment about I believe marriage is ebbs and flows, a constant learning and growing ups and downs that continue to bring you closer to each other. That is so awesome, and that is so true.
Yeah.
You can't, a lot of people get into when they get married, they think it's the picket fence with the two children and the cat and the dog, and and they think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But things really start after the wedding. It's like after the wedding. Okay, so now what do we do now?
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight. It's constant, like he says, ups and downs. It's learning and growing. It's awesome. Look like we got a caller.
We got a caller.
Oh, it's a Natalie Richards.
This is Natalie Richards. All right. Natalie, can you hear us? Natalie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. You might have to turn your TV down because you're getting the echo there. But yes.
Is this the echoing?
Oh, no, we got it. We got it now. I can hear you. So, Natalie calling from Chicago. First of all, how's the weather up there?
Well, today it was in the 50s, cloudy, cold, and rainy. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 70s and sunny. So I hope we're all over the place.
I'll be up there, I think, next week. I hope the weather's good when I come up there. Great goodness, boy, I tell you.
I hope so, too.
Me, too. All right, so talk to us. Talk to us about your strong personality that you get from your mom.
I don't think I have a strong personality, to be quite honest. I think my personality really comes, like, it's more, like, laid back, especially as I gotten older. When I was younger, I would say, yeah, okay, I was a little bit of I had a strong personality then. But I do find that when I got into my 20s and was in college and things like that, I did taper back my personality, or what I felt was a strong personality, especially in the dating arena. Okay. I tend to, I started just becoming more passive versus just laid back. And I find that was very difficult for me to continue to do, because not being that, I felt like I wasn't getting my needs met. I felt like I was just letting things happen. And I think a lot of times women, especially Black women, we don't want that angry Black woman stereotype. And so, like, for me, I went all the way to the left and became super passive and went through some things that if I would have just stood up for myself, I probably wouldn't have went through.
Wow, that's good.
So there's that.
That's good. That's good to acknowledge it. So you got to have a balance. So that's what you're saying. You got to have a balance, And I think you see the balance between your mom and ourselves. It's a balance. And so you can't let nobody, one thing I try to teach y'all, you don't let nobody run over you, You don't let no man should be running over you at all,
Absolutely not.
No, not at all. So, well, thank that you recognize that and just stand for yourself, stand strong, That's what you got to do. What you got, anything, babe, you want to talk to?
Oh no, I'm
you happy?
That.
Oh,
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm glad I could be, a part of that.
Well, Nat, thank you for calling in. We love you.
Of course. Love you too.
All right, bye-bye. All right, is there anybody else that wants to call in? And that was good.
That was absolutely good. I totally enjoyed that. Coming from a single woman.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. So now those married women that now find themselves single, that's a way to look at it.
Yeah, that's a way. Can somebody, I just want a married woman to call in and just talk about a married woman with a strong personality. I want them to call in and just talk about how just another couple, how they handle a person with a strong personality. But it'd be nice if you get both of them on the phone,
That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be good. We get both of them on the phone.
Or you could just pop it in the chats if you don't want to call in. See, I like that. Melissa said, "Don't ever compromise again. You're the total package."
All
Natalie.
Right. That's it.
Awesome.
That's awesome sauce.
We're
gonna get a clap for that. We're gonna get a clap.
That is awesome, because you are so right. We should not have to lure ourselves, for anything or anybody. Oh, we got a caller.
We got a caller. All right. We got two callers, matter of fact. We're gonna take up we'll put let me see. All right, we'll take Jordan. We'll take you first. All right, so talk to us, Jordan.
Okay, so as the son of a strong woman, I'd say just growing around a lot of strong women in my life, and kind of listening to y'all describe what a strong woman is, and kind of just looking at my wife the entire time. I think that it just kind of led to me marrying somebody who's strong.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of very interesting, because they're always like, oh, you marry your mother or you marry your father, and here I am smack dab in the middle with a strong woman in my life. So I just thought that was very interesting, and I'm more like you are, Dad. I'm kind of laid back, but sometimes it can turn into passivity too, which isn't good on this side.
Right.
Yeah. So that's something that can happen when you have a laid back personality and you marry somebody who is strong. You don't want to be passive, but it's just they're so headstrong and he's taking the lead and all the charges and all that stuff. It's just so easy to just let them do it to the point where you're just like not even really doing anything in the marriage.
Wow. Joy.
And then that's putting a lot on them, and they're stressed out, and it's almost like you don't even know what to do because you haven't been doing anything for so long.
Wow, that is good, Jay. That is good. So that's why, like we often say that it is a team. You know, it's certain. You know, if you work together, because what I think I was telling somebody is that men don't understand their responsibilities, and it is a lot that you have to do, and that's why God understood what it was, and that's why He said, "I'm gonna make Eve a helpmeet to help you with your responsibilities." And so, if you're getting worn out in the marriage, it's because you're not letting your wife help you. You know, I'm not telling you, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, in general, if you're getting worn out and you be like, man, I'm so depressed, I'm so worn out, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, it's because your wife probably is speaking up, but you saying, I'm the man, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, without letting your wife help you in, you know, whatever her strong points is. Maybe it's finance, maybe it's washing the cars, or maybe it's mowing the yard. Whatever it is, she can help you, and we got to let that out, because if not, if one person does it all, you're gonna get worn out. All right, Jay.
Awesome.
All right, how's Amai doing?
She's talking up a storm right now.
All right. Hey, you gonna say your thing?
Hey, girl, it's your Gigi.
All right. All right. Thank you, Jordan, for calling in.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Now we got another call. I think it's from Atlanta, Georgia. Speak out.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? Great topic tonight.
Hey, cuz, how you doing?
We're good. We're both tuning in tonight, and this is really interesting.
Yeah.
What do you say, babe?
Hey, Ty.
I love it. Hey, how we doing?
We good.
We good.
I love the topic tonight. You're hitting some points here tonight, because this is what we have. I've married a strong-willed, strong personality, strong everything type of woman.
That's right.
I will say, according to what we're talking to tonight, one of the ways that I had to kind of step back. I didn't know she was as strong, and she's the type of person that will just say what's on her mind. That's just who she is. But what worked for me over the time we've been together, I had to kind of step back and kind of see some of her strengths. So what that looked like is her taking care of the family and going to their conferences and games while I'm out working and hustling, and she's tending to the home. So for me, I was like, okay, she has a mouth on her. She's a strong will. She's a strong personality, but she's also doing X, Y, and Z on the back end, which I needed in my life as a wife.
Awesome.
And it helped me balance. So now I can put up with all the strongness, because I know the type of woman that she is.
All right, you better watch it. You better watch it.
God.
Ty, you better watch it, Ty. You better watch your words now.
You know, I don't like that whole put up with. I'll say
See, that's what I'm talking about. Tolerate, deal with. Like, excuse me.
Hey, Ty, I understood what you're saying.
Wait a minute.
Patience is grown. But this is something I don't think the two of you have touched on tonight. This is our second marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Ty has been divorced. I was a widow. So therefore we came into the marriage pretty much already knowing who we were.
Mm-hmm.
And the main issue was just learning how to deal with the different personalities. Right. And being that I'm 36 going into a marriage, just coming out of something horrible, not the marriage, but what happened, before meeting Ty.
Right.
He probably perceived me as being this weakling. However, with time, God, and a lot of therapy, he really realized that this girl is something else. And I wasn't budging. But, again, second marriage, not first marriages. So what do you say about that, Patsy, with the second marriage? What do you have to say?
Well, one thing I found out is that you can't take what happened or what didn't happen from your first marriage into your second marriage, you know, because if you do that, you're not giving your new partner a chance to be who they are, you know. Maybe in the first marriage, and I'm not saying it happened, but maybe in the first marriage, the person was doing everything, you know, and maybe you didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying maybe you didn't work, and the husband was a provider, and he did all of this. He did, and you know you sat home. Well, you can't go into the second marriage and say, "Well, in my last marriage, well, I didn't work." No, that ain't going. You know, no.
Right.
That would cause conflict. You know, that would cause conflict. So each, you know, your second marriage is different. So again, you're starting afresh. You're starting anew, and you're trying to learn that person as that person. You can't take, as Patsy always said, you can't take baggage into your marriage. Because if you take so much baggage in your marriage and you try to open it up, man, your marriage won't go nowhere. And you can't go into your marriage looking in the rear, because if you keep looking in the rear, you will crash. And your marriage will be in divorce.
Absolutely.
So I would say, you know, because look, this Patsy's first marriage, but this ain't my first marriage either.
Right.
You know, and so I had to realize, you know, that I can't take my whatever happened in, you know, because of my other marriage, my ex-wife, she cheated on me, right? Well, I can't go and say, well, you know, I got to watch Patsy.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
Yeah, I don't trust her. You know, everything she do, I need to be up.
And you'll be good and left.
You know, because the last one cheated on me. You know, no, this is this is a new person, a new personality. I just new. And so that's what I would say, you know, in a second marriage, third marriage, the fourth marriage, you can't take all of those marriages and bring them in. You can't do that.
Yeah, and not only that, it leads to comparison.
Yes.
And nobody want to be compared to someone else. You know, especially as a women, we definitely don't want to be compared to the other woman,
right.
The ex. Because we want to shine. We want to be better than that. So don't compare me to her. I don't care if she put all the spaghetti in the new spaghetti and then put the sauce on top. I don't care about that. If I put mine in and I mix it, then it's going to be mixed. It's how it's going to go. Right. So yeah, I think that's the one. That's very important on not bringing that comparison and that competition, because when you do it, now it becomes a competition, because now I'm competing against the things that she did for you when you don't even know. You better you know, jump on this.
Right. You can't say, well, she used to do it like this. Because if you start saying she used to do it or he used to do it like this, you'll start thinking about that other person.
Or you'll be like, well, go back to where you got this.
Just think about this. This, and then I'm going to close. Just think about this, right? Just think about you having sexual relations, right? And you having sexual relations, and here come the guy. Man, I hit it. Boy, don't I hit it better than the other person? What you have just done? If just put that other person in your wife's head. Now she's going to be comparing that, you know. And you know what? Maybe you ain't, you know. And now if she come out and say, if she don't say nothing, you be like, oh, he was better than me. So now you don't cause a conflict, all because of what you said, not what she said, because you put it in her head to start thinking about her other sexual relations. Yeah, you did it, and it's your fault. Okay. So in the same way, it's in the non-sexual stage, you know, that you don't start comparing what happened in the past or how the marriage was in the past. You just say, this is fresh, this is a new, and we moving forward.
And we're growing. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I like that. That was good.
All right, good. Well, hey, thank y'all for calling. Y'all got anything else?
No, that was good. That was great.
All right, good. All right, thank you for calling. Thanks for calling. We look forward to seeing y'all.
Yes.
We love you.
Love y'all too.
All right, bye. All right, well, we had them. No, that's me.
Okay, all right.
we had them calling in. We thank you know, for the call-ins. That was good. Yeah, that was good. Well, it is time to get up, and it is time to go. All right, it is time to go. We want to thank each and every person who has joined us tonight.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you for joining us. For being with us. We really thank you. We want you to like. We want you to subscribe. We want you to subscribe to our channel and like us. We are on all of your podcasting, streaming, and all that kind of. That's where we are. We'll be out there tomorrow, and you can go back and listen to this if you thought something was funny or you didn't catch it. You can go back and you can listen to it, and we want you to do that. Did you have fun tonight, babe?
I did. I love talking, with the audience and hearing their opinions and seeing the comments is just awesome.
Yeah, just awesome.
Because I know you probably see me looking over this way when I'm put on my glasses. I'm looking at your comments and I'm reading them, and I really appreciate the interaction that you all are doing with us. And this has been fun. This has been a great ride, and believe it or not, Eric and I are learning as well.
Yeah.
Because when you give us those questions, we have to go back and do our research. We have to go biblical. We have to go, on the psychology side, and we really, really look at it. So it's not like we're just throwing out our opinion. We go back and we really do our research on it. So heads off to you, the most wonderful audience in the world.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. What is the date on that 2 weeks, babe?
I
always be forgetting.
Do that to me.
I always do that to you,
You do. Let me look at it.
I'll put you out there. I think it's the 22nd. The 22nd. Yeah, it's the 22nd.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but we got nothing going on the 22nd.
No, we do not. But, the 20th is my best cuz.
Yeah, 20th is your best cuz. So we'll be able to talk about that party, for your best cuz. All right. Well, again, we want to thank you for joining us. Make sure you like and share. Please make sure you like this live stream and share it with somebody. Maybe it's a couple that needs to have this information. Make sure you share it with us, and just tell everybody to be with us on the 22nd, a Marriage in Real Life podcast. I love you, babe.
Love you too.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please rate and review our show on your favorite podcast channel. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in this topic. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or on any social media networks at Marriage in Real Life Podcast. See you next week for a new episode.